He also has been putting out a lot of fires since he came in. You know, he had the Harry Maguire situation, Anthony, Jadon Sancho, Mason Greenwood. There's been a lot.
That's true. And I think he's also started some fires. Let's have a listen to Erik Ten Hag, though. After the Late Show, the victory against Brentford, he discussed the importance of the win for his side.
In football, it's eaten or you get eaten. And too many times in the first start of the season, we got eaten by opponents who are more hungry. And that can't be. And it has to go away. Such easy giveaways, you get punished in top football. And we have two good players to act like this. So this has to be a turning point, but also it has to be a restart because we have to get into higher levels.
I think he started fires he didn't need to start. One with Maguire, for example. Middle of last season, I was inside in a press conference after a game at Manchester United, and Erik Ten Hag came out and said, I'm working well, one-to-one with Harry Maguire. We're changing him from a left-sided centre-half to a right-sided centre-half. He's going really well. He's adapting. It's going absolutely fine. Utter rubbish. I mean, he's never going to get a place back in the team as long as Ten Hag's there, unless there's this serious injury crisis. Hence, he was in on Saturday. So he's picked a fight with Harry Maguire, which I didn't think he needed to pick. And the Sancho one, I don't get at all, because he could have handled that in-house.
Well, now he's all of a sudden saying that he's not going to comment on it. And I'm like, but you commented on it, and that's why this started.
That's
his
bad
last
management.
press conference. It is
bad management.
But Adrian, let's be honest, he's only been successful at Ajax. You know, I don't think he's the answer. I don't think he's the biggest problem we have, obviously. The ownership is, no doubt. But really, where's the credibility coming from of Erik Ten Hag? Where is it?
I always
is
see
he a
him.
ball
I see him
winner?
as the guy who managed to be even more Spursy than Spurs in a Champions League semi-final. How Ajax lost that, I have no idea. It's beyond belief. He's made Lucas Moura look like a complete world beater. That's his coaching, his management, and then all of a sudden, he's the man for Manchester United. I didn't get that at all. And listen, I'm really happy if he's at Man United and proves me wrong, and he turns them into a force again. But
it feels like we've not
you're
gone
right.
forward,
From his CV, I couldn't see it at all.
I think last year it looked like we turned a bit of a corner, right? We went on a really good run of away games, those types of things. Winning the Carabao Cup, people can say it's the Carabao Cup, but it's still a trophy, right? But it's Manchester United. It's not good enough just to win the Carabao Cup. Right now, what I'm seeing, I was probably delusional beginning of the season, because when I was talking to Hugh, Tony, and all the guys about Manchester United, I was like, we're going to be fine. Then I went Tottenham away in the away end, and I was sitting there and I was thinking, wow, we are bad individually. Anthony, Garnacho, and Garnacho, I really like him, but it's almost like they fall into this toxicity. You know, the players come in. Hannibal has showed some bright sparks this year. But do you know why? Probably because he's not been around it. You know, he's been training with the team, but he looks good when he's in. Mason Mount, like, he's just not that guy. I like Mason Mount as a person, but he's not that guy, is he?
But see, again, me personally, I agree to a certain extent with some of the other things. But what you just said there is an example of the players that go to United who we've seen actually achieve elsewhere, but go to United and get sucked into that culture of underachievement. Because I think Mount's a good player. And we've seen Mount perform well within the tactical structure at Chelsea. And successive managers have picked Mount. And we know he's versatile, we know he can score goals, and we know he can create as well. I just think the problem is United. I think there's a culture of complacency at United. I think that there is an issue with authority at United, because some of the players, the manager coming out and saying that there's a lack of hunger and other teams are eating us. For that to be said about Manchester United players is incredible when you consider the standards that United have set for themselves and the rest of the Premier League.
But isn't that what Cristiano Ronaldo said last year? And then everyone came after him. He highlighted, yes, he went about it the wrong way, but he highlighted all of the problems that are happening right now. He could see where the club was going. You know, even the other week, I heard one of the former coaches talk about how Cristiano Ronaldo was too demanding on the other players. Like, what is this? This is Manchester United.
But the only problem with Ronaldo is that Ronaldo wrapped up within that was that he had a demand that he play regardless of whether he was playing well or not. But you see, I think that was part of the culture, because I think you're right about the fact that he was identifying a malaise at the club. There are players there who've got long time on their contracts. They know the club won't pay them off to go, so they can sit and pick up their wages. It doesn't matter to them if they lose or not.
But this is a guy that Ronaldo left and he bought in without Weghorst. They laughed at me last week when I said this, but come on. This is like, I know people laugh and say, oh, it's Man United, but Weghorst, like, What?
On loan from Burnley.
What is this?
And
So
before
I'm
that,
thinking, okay, I'll give Ten
he
Hag.
wanted to bring in Arnautovic as well, remember?
Yeah, I remember.
And the fans said, no,
So
we're not having that.
These are the things that blow my mind, because I'm like, okay, give Erik Ten Hag a chance. Maybe, you know, Reynolds has something that we're not all seeing, but he was poor. What a terrible signing, right?
You make me
No, but it's true though. So are we really judging, like, the decisions that he's bringing in these players? Manchester United have spent money, but on who?
Yeah.
The wrong players. If Declan Rice came to Manchester United, Harry Kane came to Manchester United, we'd be doing far better. But it's the wrong type of players they're bringing through the door, and that comes from the top all the way to the bottom. And it's the same old story. You know, people are talking about still the leaking roof at Old Trafford. It's getting on my nerves, because that becomes a focus because we're so poor.
It's blown your mind.
It has. But surely, guys, you lot know football. Records.
Listen,
get rid of Ronaldo.
I think
and get
United have
Records.
got problems. Have a look at the 3 that came up last season. They all lost again. We're going to find out how bad they are in just a moment. You're listening to Kickoff on talkSPORT with Ladbrokes. We play together. Terms and conditions apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.